Anybody absent today? Tristan is e-learning. Oops, I don't want to share that. I want to share this. All right. So the first, I don't know, how many questions? First 5?
I missed one. I missed it.
The first 10 questions. Look at the first 10 questions. Here's an example of it. The first 10 questions, I will give you an expression, variable expression. I will give you some numbers to plug in. You will plug the numbers in the variable expressions. You will simplify. The key here is to remember what saying. GEMDAS, PEMDAS, right? You need to remember GEMDAS. GEMDAS says grouping symbols. Grouping symbols come in different flavors. Parentheses, absolute value, square root symbols, you see any fraction bars, and fraction bars. Those are the G fraction bars. Do those first. Hey, look, I got parentheses. Do that first. P minus Q. P minus Q would be 2. P is 3. 3 minus 2 would be 4. Therefore, the answer is D. All right, it will be a multiple choice test. It will be a bubble test where you will get an answer sheet. You will have to bubble in your answers.
Oh, I love these.
All right. The reason I do that is because I have to have the grades in really quick. So it just aids me. Typically what happens is the only time I ever give a bubble test are for semester finals. And it's only because of the time I have to grade. The issue with a bubble test is I don't give partial credit. Okay, so you either get this all right or you get this all wrong. All right, anyone questions 1 through 10? You want to see something done? 1 through 10.
So easy. We don't need help. We legit don't need help.
Do you remember how to do absolute values?
Yes.
What is the answer to any absolute value? Positive or negative? It's always positive. So therefore the answer is? Okay. Therefore the answer is?
No, wait. 1.
Questions? All right. Answer is? The most common mistake people make is they say, well, it gives me the opposite. Absolute value doesn't give you the opposite. It gives you the positive value. So 18 divided by 3 is 6, and, well, 6 already is positive. All right, chapter number 2, we immediately jumped into positive and negative numbers. Hey, that ship has sailed a long time ago. If you are sitting here right now and you still can't add and subtract, multiply and divide positive and negative numbers, then you better have on your resource card all the rules. Does anybody want to go over the rules?
Sure.
For add, okay. When you're adding or subtracting, right, you're either going to be adding or subtracting same signs, a plus and a plus, or a minus and a minus. This is add, subtract. Or you're going to be adding a positive, a negative, and negative, and positive. When you have same signs, you add or subtract. Same signs, add or subtract. You add. Opposite signs, how do you subtract? Big number minus small number, and then you have that one extra step of asking yourself more positives or negatives. The extra step of the adding one is when you're adding 2 positive, the answer is positive. When you're adding 2 negatives, the answer is okay. Multiplying and dividing, not the same rules. Multiplying and dividing. Okay, now I'll leave that up there and put multiplying and dividing. So multiplying and dividing. When you multiply signs that are the same, the answer is always
Positive.
And when you multiply different signs, the answer is always, there's your rules. You may have 2 pieces of paper for your resource card, right? It is 7 or 6 chapters. So 2 pieces of paper, front and back. You put whatever you want on it. Yeah. We'll have to get to it. Okay. You may also, if you so desire, have multiplication table in front of your face. Don't care.
Yes, let's go.
Next year, geometry, you get to have a calculator for all tests.
So that means the problems are pain.
Which sounds wonderful,
but
but
then the problems are impossible to do because you need a calculator.
do you want to
do
see the
them.
math in geometry?
Yes, I already see that.
There's the math.
But it doesn't equal actually what you think it does. It equals something else.
You can ask the
Divided
4
by
people in
40.
this class that are in geometry right now. You don't add any. Okay, here's a hard geometry problem.
Oh my gosh! That's for real, the math.
It's actually
The
not even
math, the
divided by
calculations
that.
in math and geometry are ridiculously easy. It's the
hard.
logic that's the hard one.
That's actually not hard.
So you have to write like small paragraphs and how this equals this.
It's not a paragraph, but it's something like that. All right. Okay, so there's all your multiplication division problems. That takes you up to number 19. Rylan said that number 19 involves.
Distributed property.
Do we need to go over the distributive property? Remember, I highly encourage you to put arrows. And don't put both arrows and then write the answer one arrow at a time. Hey, smarty pants, look at question number 19 and tell me why this one's ridiculously easy.
Wait, okay, half of them don't even equal 7 times 4.
So the first arrow, -7 times 4, gives you the answer because it's multiple choice. It's not the true answer, but -7 times 4 is -28. There's only one answer there with a -28. It is C. So sometimes multiple choice will make your life easy. Now, once again, I highly encourage you. If you get the wrong answer, you do your math and you don't get this answer, any A, B, C, or D, don't pick the one that's closest. Find your mistake. Because if you really do bad math, and it can be done, somebody might do -7 times 4 and literally think -21. That answer's there. And they're like, oh, there it is. Simply because they did the math wrong. That's the downfall of some multiple choice. All right, that takes us all the way up to question 22. Question 22 all the way through 31 are solving equations. So let's see. In Algebra 1, we didn't have any one-step equations. We started off with 2-step equations. Those are questions, what do we got? That's 2-step, that's a 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 2-step, all the way through 28. So 22 through 27 are 2-step equations. 28 through 31 are your multiple steps. Some strange things can happen when you solve equations in Algebra 1. Three things can happen. You either get to an answer or you get to this answer right here. What is it going to look like if the actual answer is all real numbers? You're going to do math. You're going to do all these algebra steps. What's going to happen at the very end? You're going to get something like, for instance, 1 equals 1. The variables are going to go away. Typically, the step before that will say 4x plus 1 equals 4x plus 1. Hey, you subtract 4x from both sides, you get 1 equals 1. Okay? If you get this answer where the variables go away and you literally have the same thing on the left as you have on the right, what's the answer? What's it going to look like if there's no solutions?
0, 0.
You're going to get something like 4 equals 1. I subtract 4x from both sides, I get 4 equals 1. This would be an example of no solution. I believe this program says the word no solution. Yeah. Let's take a look at number 22. Rylan is dealing with the, hey, it's just plug the numbers in. So if you want to solve this algebraically, 6 is equal to 1 plus k over 2. Always get rid of addition and subtraction first. Get rid of the 1. How do you get rid of the 1?
-5.
So I get 5 is equal to k over 2. What's attached to k?
2.
Third question. What's attached to k? How is it attached?
Division.
How do you get rid of division? Multiply both sides by 2, you get?
10.
Or you can just go 10 divided by 2 equals 5 plus 1 equals 6.
Agreed. Order.
26.
Let's take a look at number 26. Wrong way.
Okay.
So 26 says 5b minus 5b. What's 5b minus 5b? What's 0 equals 0? True or false? So therefore the answer is all real numbers. That actually is a one-step equation, by the way. I said there were no one-step. Well, there's one. What?
Wait, can you do that again? Sorry.
What's 5b minus 5b? So the equation now reads, is that true or false? If it's true, it's all real numbers. If this had said, Josie, 1, 5b minus 5b is, you would get 0 equals 1. That's clearly, so one of those answers would have been no solutions. All right, you have everything from chapter 1 through 3. Hopefully you realize, oh, I got a good chance of passing this test because chapters 1 through 3 was ridiculously easy. So you should be fine, yes. Which one? 17?
27.
27. What's 3a minus 2a? So you get a is equal to negative 2. Julie, 23. Do you see the distributive property, Julie? Why do I say do you see the distributive property? See parentheses and a number in front of it without a plus or a minus. You're like, wait a minute, there's a minus right here. But remember, Julie, the minus sign is not between the 6 notes and parentheses or from the zero. So this is negative 6 times that. All right, do the distributive property real quick. Do the distributive property real quick. First arrow we give you. Nope. Second arrow will give you. What's going to be? Perfect. What do we do now? You want to get rid of the negative 6 or negative 36? Okay. Always, always, always get rid of addition, subtraction after your first couple steps. So what are we going to get rid of? That's not a 36.
Oh, negative 36.
So how do we get rid of negative 36? Just do the opposite. What's the opposite of minus 36? Both sides. Hey, same or different signs? So does that mean add or subtract? It does mean subtract. 14 minus 6 is an 8. 3 from 10 is a 7. There's more negatives than positives, so negative 78. Last step. What are we doing? Now is that thing attached to that thing? What is this thing attached to this? How are they attached? So how do we get rid of multiplication? How do we get rid of multiplication? Both sides by what number are you trying to get rid of? What? If I erase this, that's the answer? If I erase that, does that now say the answer? I literally said, what number do you want to get rid of? Get rid of means erase. So I just erased what you told me to get rid of. Does that tell me the answer? No. So what number do you want to get rid of? If I get rid of negative 6b, it says that. What number do I want to erase with my hand? Remember, in algebra, our ultimate goal is for the problem to say x equals. Whatever goes right here is the answer. So I'm always going to be left with a variable, and on the other side is the answer. what number would I have to erase so it would basically say b equals? What would make this look like this? If I took my hand and did this, it literally now says b equals negative 78. So what number do I need to get rid of? So that's why I asked you, how is negative 6 attached to b? And you said multiplication. So then I said, well, what's the opposite of multiplication? You said division. I did this, Julie. And I said, what do you want to divide both sides by? You said negative 78. I was like, what? Well, get rid of negative 7. That was when we were doing adding and subtracting, remember? Okay. So what are we doing now? What? But obviously that was a saying. Mathematically, how do we do that? I agree, erasing negative 6, true. But, I mean, that's obviously I was using common speak. How do we mathematically erase negative 6? Which math? So that's why there's a division bar there. So divide both sides by the thing you're trying to get rid of, negative 6. Hey, what's a negative divided by a negative? What's a negative divided by a negative? What's a negative divided by a negative? Now look at your answers. Which one can we immediately get rid of? Can't be b because it's negative. The rest of them, okay, it doesn't make my life any easier. We got to do the math. So whatever that divided by that is, it's one of those answers, by the way. What? Do the math. By the way, I already know what the answer is. It's either 4, 16, or 13. So do the math. Figure it out.
I'm almost finished. Well, that's easy.
No, it's not.
It's 13.
You're rich. All right. We got, by the way, Dr. K said you guys are in trouble. I don't know what you guys did. He came to me and said they're not going to lunch today. I don't know what you guys did.
That's okay. Me and you have to work anyway.
Why? What? We have convention.
Right.
Wait, what?
So he said you're not going to lunch until 12:20 today.
All of us? Oh, because
All of
no, it's because
What do we do?
I don't know.
supposed to. It's more sad.
What?
Remember on
It's got to
Tuesday?
keep going down.
Because remember they're still.
So
doing
apparently
the
you guys are running down there, pushing 4th graders and 3rd graders, taking
No,
their
no,
lessons.
no. It's because the 4th graders and 5th graders are supposed to be before us, and we were there before them yesterday. So they're like, yeah.
But I didn't let you go early.
No, that's right.
Actually, it's because
I
I walk
walked
slow.
And we didn't push anybody.
We didn't push anyone.
Well, there was that one kid.
They walk like single file, like one step at a time.
It's not our fault we walk faster.
One kid who got really mad at me because I said she was in 5th grade instead of 4th, so I kind of went off on her.
I would think that was a compliment, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I was little kids, they fall older than they are.
That's not a compliment.
Apparently not. I was like, I got to you like more mature than a 4th.
All right, so we can't go to lunch until 12:20. So I'm not sure what we're gonna do when the bell rings. Just stare at each other. By then.
Wait, so we can't start lunch till 12:20?
Well, if you brought your own food, you can.
That's not fair.
Talk to Dr. K. Ask him to change the policy.
Oh, I was like, who the frick is Dr. K? And then I was like, oh,
Killingsworth.
Dr. Killingsworth.
I don't know if he made that, but he came to me, I don't know, 2nd or 3rd period. It's like, do not let the 9th graders go until 12:20. I said, are they in trouble? He goes, well, they've been blah, blah, blah. But he was talking through his mask, and I couldn't really understand it.
That's right.
Talks really slow.
Are you slow in that?
For sure.
All right, let's see. E-learners, no one is online. So e-learners, if you have any questions, send me a chat. Remember, your when's our test? What day?
I think it's on
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
E-learners, remember, Wednesday is your test. You must take your test on Wednesday.
Yes.
All this stuff that you.
Agreed.